So this is a look at the front end of my Toyota Tundra Platinum with my tow mirrors. Now these are not an expensive tow mirror, these are one that simply snaps on and snaps off, and I'm going to show you why I selected that. I could have purchased for several $100s a much more expensive tow mirror, and it wasn't the cost that prevented me from doing that, because I could have maintained the functionality of the power fold as well as the blind spot monitoring, which were important to me. However, what I didn't want was an inability to fit in my garage. So this much less expensive, but I think good looking snap-on tow mirror served my purpose pretty well. So I wanted to get tow mirrors for my Tundra, but herein lies my problem. This is the stall I park in my garage. As you can see, this is my clearance, which is going to give me about 2 or 3 inches on the driver's side. And if we walk around on the passenger side, we can see here, I've got about 6 inches on this side. So between the two, I've got about 9 inches of clearance is all. If I put a tow mirror on here, I have absolutely no room. So these are the tow mirrors that I've purchased. Now, as you can see, I've had some miles on them now. This is the outside of them, and they've been through winter storms, they've been through the desert, they've been all over, they've killed a few bugs. And the way these came, and I'll put some links to these different parts, I got these from Amazon, is they came with this mirror right here, which attaches to the outside of my mirror. It already has these felt pieces to keep from scuffing my mirror, which does a pretty good job. It has this opening at the bottom for illumination, so it matches up to my Tundra really, really well. What it didn't have were these convex blind spot mirrors. I added these. Now what I'm going to tell you is this mirror right here doesn't work well at all. When you're going down the road, there's too much vibration in it for it really to have any sort of clarity to it. But I'm going to go ahead and attach these and show you what they look like while they're on. This is how you attach the mirrors right here, quite simply. You go up and over the mirror like this, you get it into position, pull it down, and then pull until the bottom tabs snap into place, and there you are, you have your mirror attached. Now, like I said, I'll get this set at the angle I want, and this is really all I need. Now I could put this over here, but my trailer's 8 feet wide, so if I put it over here, I don't quite get around it. I'm really using this as just an extra space to get me out there. And then the nice part about this, of course, as you can see, I'm going to clip this end pretty good. I could put one on the other side, but literally, if I tried to pull in, I would rub right here pretty much every time I parked. And so then getting an expensive aftermarket tow mirror, I looked into that. Problem is, it's still too wide, it's too difficult to park. I'd have to constantly be bringing the mirrors in and out as I was pulling in and out of the garage. Just not something I was really interested in doing. So this is a much cheaper solution, and one for when I travel and when I tow makes life a lot easier. So here's how we put this in on the passenger side. Pretty straightforward. These tabs on top go on there. It pulls around and snaps down, and then you just pull, and these bottom ones pull into place. It stays fairly securely. But if I needed to bring this in, we can take a look and see where my passenger side is right there. And if we walk around here quickly and take a look at our driver's side, we can see it'd be just about impossible to get parked into my spot with tow mirrors. So this is a cheap way. I'll put the links to these. I think this was about 50 bucks and this was about 13. The vibration in this makes it almost useless. It doesn't work. But without adding this piece right here, it doesn't get me out far enough where I can really see down the side of my trailer and see what's on it. And I'll get those set before I go so that I like the visibility that I'm getting out of this. So my problem is to get these with, all the things it has, the blind spot monitoring, the turn signal, the illumination down here, the power fold, all of that. I was looking upwards of $800 to get something that fit, and then I was still going to have to worry about the fact that I was going to hit them and forget to take them in and out when I went into my sharp portion of the stall here. So this is what I decided to do. Works much better, and oddly enough, this vibrates like crazy, and you can't really see it when you go down the road, but this does not vibrate like crazy. This part right here actually stays still for whatever reason, even though it attaches directly and it's just stuck on to this piece here. This piece here is constantly doing this. This, even if I tap it, you can kind of see how that top part taps there and the bottom part stays still. That's what it does going down the road too. So it works that way for me. Just thought I'd show you what I did as a cheap alternative to power tow mirrors.
So these are power for me. I did bring them in when we were going through the tunnel in Zion because the lady looked at me at the check-in station. You're only allowed to be 94 inches wide. I folded them in. She nodded in approval, and we drove on through. But something to think about here. If you're like me, you have a small stall, but you want tow mirrors, this is a good way of getting around that. So this is just traveling down my neighborhood street here. I just wanted you to see what that looks like. As you look at the mirror that's attached to the second piece, you can kind of see, even just on the side street, that's vibrating a little bit. But that convex blind spot mirror, why, that mirror is actually staying pretty darn steady, even just traveling slowly down the side streets of my neighborhood. Removed just as simply as they went on. It's as simple as just pulling the tab till they loosen up, and then they just slide forward and off. And if you look over here, well, we've killed some bugs. Like I said, I've done probably over 15,000 miles with these mirrors on. Little dirty spot there, smudge, but no actual scuffs on the mirror. So this is the storage bag for the mirrors. I keep them in this. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary. I could probably just keep them on the garage shelf and they do just fine, but I do store them in the bag. I put them on before I leave, and they've done quite well for us and actually aren't all that unsightly. They look pretty good on the vehicle when I'm towing with it. I'm going to go ahead and put some links for these things like I talked about earlier, and if you've enjoyed this video and you want to hit like and subscribe, that would be great. I'd appreciate comments if you'd like to share some information you have or any questions you might have, so I know what sort of content people might be interested in seeing in the future.